I'm William Farrow, interviewing Coach Marcel Piet here at Ravenscroft School. Coach, what is it that you do?
Um, in the athletic department, I am the head athletic trainer. I also have the title of associate athletic director, but my primary duties are taking care of the Ravenscroft community. I'll not just limit it to student athletes, but the Ravenscroft community and healthcare with anybody that's on campus.
Do you like what you do?
Absolutely.
Why?
When you realize quickly that you're a people person and that it's really nice. One, you enjoy athletics. Two, you're a people person and you like to be out there. Three, you feel a part of every team that you're working with. And you enjoy the field of medicine. Those things all go together really nicely, and it forms a very nice union to be able to accomplish goals in every single area.
How did you get started in sports medicine?
I'd rather come by it naturally. As an athlete who was part of the Title IX beginnings, I had my share of injuries. Went on to school in Wisconsin at the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse to go into physical education. And once I got there, became a student athletic trainer under John Eggert, who was the head athletic trainer and the physical therapist for the University of Wisconsin athletic department. And from there, it just bloomed and blossomed. And by the time I graduated and finished one additional year to get prepared to study for the national certification exam, found myself in sports medicine and athletic training from that point forward.
Well, you answered like half the questions. What sports did you play in high school? Did you play in college?
Played some tennis in college. I was part of the Title IX beginnings because when I went to high school, we did not have organized girls athletics.
Was it like all like club back then?
It was whatever group of girls might get together and say, give Kaukauna High School a call and let's see if they want to play basketball on a Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. So there officially was nothing. It was all kind of pull it together. Not even could you say clubs, although we did have faculty members who eventually ended up coaching, who kind of took us under the wing and would run some practices now and again. So I played volleyball, I played basketball, I played tennis. I did a lot of work with track and field, but actually in high school, the work that I did in track and field was to carry the training kit around. So I guess that started way back even before college. And then in college, I played some tennis, albeit I learned really quickly once I got into athletic training that I didn't have the time to actually devote to being a student athlete, and I much preferred being in the training room.
Actually, this is our next question. Was there any time in high school or younger where you were involved with sports medicine or sports in general?
Sports in general, indeed. My uncle, who went on to the University of Wisconsin La Crosse and became a physical educator and was a coach. Actually, I would go on the sideline when he played high school athletics, and I'd carry the water bucket and the scoop in order to give the guys water. And in junior high school and through high school, I played tennis for him during the summers, and he would set up matches actually against many of the guys who played because we didn't have that many gals that played. So indeed, I followed kind of in the footsteps of my uncle, who is a retired PE teacher and a coach.
Wisconsin La Crosse, what division was that?
It was NAIA.
Okay.
And then now our Division III, now that we've gone into the NCAA. but very, very talented athletic teams at the University of Wisconsin lacrosse, which out of the UW system, that is where if you wanted to go into physical education and coaching, that's the school that you went to, as opposed to Eau Claire or River Falls or Whitewater or Oshkosh or Stevens Point. That's kind of leveled out a little bit, but when I went to school back then, if you wanted to go into physical education and coaching, kinesiology, exercise physiology, you went to UW lacrosse.
What exactly was your major of study in college?
That's my undergraduate degree. I actually had two of them. I double majored in physical education and recreation. I had a minor in coaching. And then after teaching for 4 years, went back and got my master's degree in athletic training.
So while you're undergrad, you kind of just helped out with the athletic training stuff.
We didn't have a major, not at lacrosse.
Okay.
So I had to go through what was called an internship, which we no longer have anymore. And that required taking all the classes that I could take that were offered, but putting in a very large number of hours in the training room, which consumed us day and night. There probably were 12 or 15 of us that were student athletic trainers. And I won't tell you that all of us went on and studied for and then took the national board certification, but at least half of us did.
Now, is that internship thing something that you formally had to sign up for or whatever, or is you could just kind of do it and not really know you're doing it?
Through the university, other than you taking the classes, there was nothing you had to declare with them. What you did have to do was become a member of the National Athletic Trainers Association and let them know that you indeed were pursuing your hours to be able to sit for the national board certification.
Did you go to grad school?
Yes.
The grad school was at lacrosse as well?
Yes, was at the University of Wisconsin lacrosse. It was after I had taught for 4 years. And I was certified in 1976. I was actually one of the first 100 women to be certified in the United States. And when I took the certification exam, there were 100 people who took it, and it was 99 guys and me. I passed my certification, and after I graduated with my undergraduate degree, went on to Dodgeville, Wisconsin, where I taught physical education and was the athletic trainer in Dodgeville. And after 4 years, decided to go back and get my master's degree, because what I really wanted to do was secure a position at the college or university position.
One thing they talked to us, I'm a sport manager major, at state is how big of a deal networking is in college.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say you networked when you were in college?
Again, one of the best ways to do that was to be able to travel with athletic teams. And the more traveling that you did, the more people you met. Consequently, and to go to symposiums and clinics. Even many years ago, the symposiums and the clinics were not just for those individuals who were already certified, but students. They always would have a student section. So you were able to network there and then meet certified athletic trainers throughout the state of Wisconsin, and then eventually going to some of the larger clinics and symposiums, you were able to meet people outside of the state, which really did help. So that when I graduated with my master's degree and I started putting applications out for jobs that I was interested in, within the course of probably 3 or 4 days, I actually had 7 very strong possibilities for job opportunities, which I can tell you came directly from being able to network and be out, because folks knew my background, who I was, and what my hopes were as far as my profession going forward.
Awesome. Did you have a mentor in before or after college? What did you learn from them?
Yes. I would tell you that I had several really amazing mentors. Dr. Karen Tobirin was my mentor as far as athletic training, along with John Eggert, who was the head athletic trainer. But Karen Toburen, and we affectionately called her Toby, had taken the certification exam 3 years before I did, although she was my faculty member. And she just strongly encouraged me to continue to move on and sit for that national board. The tape job that I do with ankles today is the one that she taught me, no doubt about it. John Eggert was just a mentor in the mere fact that he was a clinician to the best degree. Dr. Toburen was an educator and an athletic trainer, but really more so an educator, whereas John Eggert was a practitioner. He was the PT, the head athletic trainer, and the things that you learned from him were, again, not out of the book, but were practical experience, hands-on. And then when I got to Arizona State University and took that position, Troy Young was a fabulous mentor. He had been there for years, knew Division I athletics inside out. He was just a fabulous guy to work with for 4 years.
Did you ever see what you learned in college being applied to the real world?
On a daily basis. Absolutely. And, we can talk just about the athletics and what you learn in athletics that you can apply to life skills. The same thing in athletic training and even to a more specific degree. Consequently, when I said when we got started that we care for the entire population here, it's not just athletics, but the medical end of it in looking at injuries, just with the faculty or the staff, or even parents who come in, it just fits completely in the real world, not just in the athletic setting.
When did it all just become natural?
Certainly not the day that I found out that I was that I had passed my certification. Then it just kind of hit you upside the head that you can't fall back on those people who you've been learning from. It's now your responsibility. And I'll bet it takes you, honestly, it takes you a good 4 or 5 years to just really feel like you've got your feet on the ground. Although it's a continually, it's a learning process. It's a work in progress. You are learning on a daily basis. To this day, I'll walk into that training room tonight, and there'll be something new that I deal with or something new that I learn. The nicest thing in the world is to have more than just one athletic trainer on site, but to have two to be able to bounce things off of. Then the learning curve goes way up.
Where have you worked since your first job?
I spent all those years at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. And then I took a job in Dodgeville, Wisconsin, where I actually taught middle school PE and took care of all the sports-related injuries at the high school. From there, I went back and got my master's degree, so I was back at UW-La Crosse working at the collegiate level. From there, I went to Arizona State University and worked Division I and taught. I was the head of the athletic training program. So I was the educator with all the student trainers working, and we had a major. That was not an internship, but it was an undergraduate degree. From there, I came here to Raleigh and actually played a little assistant tennis pro up at Northridge Country Club and met individuals whose children were going to school over here, came over, sat down with Coach Gannett, and I have been here ever since. But I can add in there, I was an adjunct faculty member at Meredith College for probably 10 or 12 years, took care of many of their injuries over there. And I also, before I got here, while I was at Arizona State, became very, very involved with dance medicine, and have done a great deal of work with touring professional companies, and still put my hand in if a ballet company or a touring company or the American Dance Festival happens to call and need a dancer looked at. That's one of the things that I love to do.
That's kind of cool. So what was your favorite job?
I don't know that there's any favorite job. I think that there are memories from every single one of them. Again, it's a work in progress, so there are steps all along the way. And I would tell you that surely at ASU, when you're working with Division I athletics, you get some opportunities. Your eyes are open wide to what big-time college athletics is all about. You can kind of get taken away by all of that. You can be enamored by all of that. But when all is said and done, it really is the basic same theory and practice and philosophy, and that is the healthcare and the well-being of individuals who choose to be physically active. And then it's just everything that comes along the way. I've been in the wings of taking care of some of the most high-profile, best dance companies in the world. It's been fabulous. I've worked with professional athletes who were at the collegiate level. I've worked with athletes who were at Ravenscroft and are at the professional level. So we've run the gamut all the way through. And so I just tell you that eventually, when I write my book, there'll be lots of chapters.
What is the most famous person's ankle you've taped?
I guess I would have to tell you probably Barry Bonds. Although I did Gerald Briggs, and he played in the NFL. Robert Weathers played in the NFL with the Patriots. Ryan Kelly would have to fit in there. Antoine Harris would have to fit in there. I've done some amazing athletes who've participated in the Olympics, and it's not just been football and basketball and baseball. Alton Lister was 7'1". He played with the Milwaukee Bucks. It was fun taping his ankles. You had to use 2 rolls of 2-inch athletic tape on one ankle to get him done. Yeah. He had size 21 feet, so that was pretty cool. Gymnastics. Several of the girls on the Arizona State women's gymnastics teams were U.S. national team members. So if you happen to be in the world of gymnastics, I could throw out some names that people would have seen on television or seen in the Olympics and would be very noteworthy. So it would go across the board. Swimmers, I've worked with some pretty amazing swimmers. There isn't a sport probably that I haven't done that we couldn't name someone that would be fairly notable.
Oh, I know. What is the craziest story or injury from your career?
Oh boy. Well, as you well know, I can come up with stories all the time. I guess the one that
favorite one of Ravenscroft.
I tell you, we've had our share where we were out on the baseball field and one young man, I think we were playing Wake Forest, did a head first slide into third base, and when he hit the base, dislocated the elbow. Cool, calm, and collected. Mom and Dad were there, splinted it, and called the ambulance and sent him on his way. At Arizona State, baseball again, hook slide into second base, stood up to run to third. One ankle going straight ahead, the other ankle turned around going backwards. You can go through all kinds. In basketball, compound fracture of the lower leg, tib, fib.
Like what happened to Kevin Ware?
Yes. Even more blood, yes. Even more fluid coming from the open wound was plenty. But we've had our share here. Arms that kind of have that deformity that immediately. The best thing you can do is take a pulse and get it splinted.
That's what Patrick's look like.
And yeah, it's exactly what Patrick's look like. We've had plenty of those. So, but even the small ones, and you just have to be prepared for about anything. Whatever you can dream, you probably will see at some point in time.
Yeah, that's true. What advice would you give someone that's aspiring to be an athletic trainer? Noted that they're not at an accredited school.
To go ahead and get your background and your core classes. Pick up as many classes as you possibly can. If indeed athletic training is something that you really think you'd like to get into, Know that it's a profession that you don't set your own schedule. Someone else sets a schedule and sets it in front of you and says, here are your work hours. And in many cases, they can be early morning, they can go late into the evening, you may have no vacations, you may have no Saturdays. It's time consuming, and you need to know that before you get into it. If you don't, you certainly will in the first several months of being involved in it. But if you love being on athletic fields, if you love working with people, and if you love healthcare, it's a really great combination. It does take a little bit of balancing in order to feel like you have a normal lifestyle, because otherwise it could feel a little bit like you're more in the work phase than you are with the home life. So look at it. If you happen to go to a school that doesn't have an accredited undergraduate degree program, or now we're moving into where you've got to have a master's degree, look for schools that have the master's degree program. So we have plenty of wonderful, wonderful schools that offer the next level up, which is what someone would need.
So you would recommend going to grad school?
Absolutely. Got it. Our profession has just now turned it into a master's level, entry level program. So you're going to have to get your master's degree. So start looking now, but make sure that you've covered all the bases and grabbed everything that you could get where you currently are. Get as much experience as you can, because folks will look at that to see if you've got that experience, which I think is why Coach Savage and I love giving kids experience here, because it gives them a leg up.
All right. Well, that's all we have today. Thank you again, Coach P. I would shake your hand, but I got a bit of a cold, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you, Will.